many people ask me, Marco, how do you make money with live streaming? Is live streaming something which is profitable? You can make money, you can generate income streams? Maybe. But to answer to that question, you have to stay there. So you can watch this show with Ross Brand, who's going to talk about how you can generate and how you can monetize with your live streaming. Stay tuned because I'll be back. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to another episode of the special marketing live show. Today it's the fourth episode of the seventh season. Okay. And it's very special because it will answer to something that people usually ask so much about. This is how we can make money with live streaming. How, Marco? You're doing live streaming every time. Do you get money for that? So this is what we're gonna talk about. I invited Ross Brand to talk about this topic because also he's organizing an event around this topic, which is very good to talk and to see how you can make money with live streaming. Even though, and I think this is also important, live streaming is not just about making money. Okay. So, and we will talk about this as well. Okay. So let me know, where are you located? Let me know, what are you doing right now? Let me know. Amazon people, tell me, how are you? Don't forget to follow. Let me put this in the screen as well. Okay. I don't know if I have to change my brand kit here on StreamYard to go to reach that follow thing. Okay, don't forget to follow if you are watching on Amazon. Okay, and also to unmute. So let's bring our amazing guest to the screen. Let's see if he's already there. Okay. Hello, Ross. How are you?
Hey, Marco. Thanks so much for having me on. This is exciting. We're going to Amazon Live. Love the graphics. I really appreciate you having me on.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure. And welcome to Portugal.
Yes.
Even though virtually.
I was actually in Portugal for Web Summit in 2019, toward the end of 2019. One of the last in-person events I think I went to.
Yeah.
But I love Portugal. Loved Lisbon. Loved the whole event and where I stayed and everything. I look forward to going back sometime.
But you should come to the north because I live close in the north, close to Spain. It's around, I think, 50 miles or something ahead from Oporto. Okay, so next time, if you stay at Oporto, don't bother. I will meet you there. Okay.
Okay. you like Porto, huh?
Yeah, I studied there. I made my grade in Oporto. My sister also went to there to study, and she stayed there.
Right.
She felt in love. She's there for more than 20 years. Wow. And it's an amazing city. Yes, very beautiful, very warm people. So it's a good place to visit and to stay and to live. But for you, it's to visit.
Well, next time I visit, we'll have to get together.
Yeah, absolutely. So first of all, thank you so much for joining me. It's a pleasure to have you here. And I see good people here in the chat. Hello, Tony. Welcome. Hello, Corinder. And hello, Anita. Anita, she's here as well. So, Ross, please, can you introduce yourself and then we can start the conversation.
Sure. Well, I've been live streaming for since I guess 2015. I started in Blab. My background was in live radio, and then I was doing other things. I came into Blab, and I said, "Wow, this is cool!" And I really fell in love with broadcasting again. And I've been doing it ever since. I've worked with brands like StreamYard and BeLive and LiveU and Wirecast, and thrilled to be doing my first big virtual summit coming up next month. It's called MONETIZE Livestreaming NOW, going very direct with the title. It's the one thing, when people go to events in the industry, there aren't a ton of live streaming specific events, but podcasting events, video marketing events, there's a lot of talk about community and a lot of talk about building relationships and providing value. And of course, all of that's important. But the question on everybody's mind is always, how do I monetize this? The platforms are making money. They're selling advertising on our videos. They're selling our data. We need tools. We need subscriptions. We need internet. We need computers. We need all sorts of things to do this. Everybody's making money. Live streamers should make money from what they're doing if they can. If you want to just do it as a hobby, or you just enjoy going live and providing entertainment and, building relationships and all that, that's great. But the opportunities are there. The creator economy is going to, or expected to, double this year. So my thought is there's a lot of opportunity out there. There are people who know how to do it. Let's get those people from different areas, because there's so many different ways that you could monetize live streaming, and let's get them together and share their best strategies and their best tips, so that if you're somebody who's looking to monetize, or maybe you're doing okay but you want to do better, now you can pinpoint those opportunities that other people are using and say, well, this one's a good fit for what I do, or for my business, or for my skill set. And that's what I'm hoping will come out of the event, that people will have a better idea where the opportunity is, and then how to execute actually monetizing through the steps that they learn, and then continuing the conversation in our Facebook group and through future live streams. But hopefully you come away from the event knowing where to go, and a good idea of how to get there, and how others are actually doing it. Because it's one thing for people to jump in and talk about the opportunities. It's another thing to hear from the people who are actually doing it. And that's what I'm excited to learn from all these different experts that we're having in the areas where they are excelling, where they are making money with live streaming.
Absolutely. Because one important thing about this live streaming world, Ross, is that if you want to excel as a live streamer, and it doesn't matter if you're a brand or if you're just a professional all alone, a freelancer, right, you need to invest a lot. And investing in gear, which it's really important. Okay, even though, and I like to praise this, usually you can start with what you have, cell phone and a microphone, yes, but if you want to become real good in this, you have to invest. You have to buy good gear to be in this technical thing, but also you have to invest in trying things, in going live. And this is also something, if you don't charge properly, you won't be able to have time to try things, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of little things that it takes some time, but in general, you can pick up your phone and you have a great camera. If you have a modern iPhone or Android phone from the last few years, you've got something that's far more advanced than what people were streaming with just a few years before that. You can go live, literally stabilize the camera, put it on a little tripod, put it up against something with your phone, have stable video so it's not shaking. And the microphone that's built into your phone is a good quality microphone. If you don't have an external microphone, if you have one, that's better. Once you get on desktop or laptop, then you want to think about an external webcam and having a microphone and having either headphones or earbuds, particularly if you have a guest. But all those things don't have to be expensive. I started out using a USB microphone that, was about $60 US, or maybe it was $50 US at the time. Point is, it's inexpensive. There's it's called the Samson Q2U. It's a terrific microphone. I did all my broadcasts on that for several years, and you can use something like a Logitech C920 webcam. Obviously, if you have a DSLR or a mirrorless camera already, there's ways that you can hook that up. But if you simply make the step from using your webcam's internal microphone to getting an external microphone, or even using the microphone that's in your earbuds and plugging that in, and you go the extra step from the built-in laptop webcam to getting an inexpensive external webcam, you're probably going to see your quality jump a whole lot. And then everything else you spend money on after that are gradations of difference. But the biggest change is those first few tools that you add.
Absolutely, absolutely. And we have Sonia saying, I use StreamYard and mobile phone for 100 days live with Sonia. Very good. Tony, he's saying, I invest in new things and practice. Yes, I use it. And Tony, and we can, it could be next topic. I used to be really nervous to go live. Because you told that you started on Blab, second here, and the thing was, I was scrolling my Facebook feed, and a good friend of mine, which we've been building this amazing friendship. By those days, 2015 September, I was, and he posted something about a new platform. I'm going live here. Join me, and I hit that. I went to Blab. I was there chatting, and he, oh, do you want to join in the screen? And I said, of course. Let me go. And I don't know, but I think you had the same feeling at the end because being there, gathering with different people, it was funny because we had two Portuguese guys in the screen and two Brazilian ladies. And we were chatting for, I think, more than 1 hour. I think this, not to think too much about going live, is the best way to start, right, Ross?
I think so. I mean, I think a lot of people try, and I know I did this. I worked in radio before I went into live streaming, and I remember my first time going live on radio. I had all these ideas in my head of what I wanted to talk about. I scripted my first several sentences, but I didn't understand kind of how it all works, right? You're really having a conversation with your audience, and if you really want to break it down, you're having a conversation with one person. You may, whether you have one person watching or you have 1 million person watching, it's you talking one-on-one to each person. And so I always say, when you're starting out, if you're nervous, script your last line. Just that one line. Get started with a smooth entry and get out with a smooth exit. And if you talk about something you're interested in, you're passionate about, in between, you keep the length kind of short in the beginning. Maybe go on your Facebook profile rather than a business page. You're going to find you have success pretty quickly in terms of getting comfortable and getting over that. And then you can spread out. You can do longer broadcasts. You can, talk about your business and so forth. But I think for those initial broadcasts, how you start and how you end are complicated things. It seems like it's easy, but getting that flow is something, even for people who are very experienced, can be challenging. So in the beginning, if you write down those first line and last line and have an idea of the concept. Okay, I'm going to talk about this topic, rather than, okay, I need to either script out, or it's got to be a show that goes from here to there, right? Keep it simple in the beginning and just act like you're telling a friend about something that you're passionate about. And eventually you'll forget about the camera. Now, I forget about the camera too much and sometimes forget to look at the camera, but it hasn't stopped me from doing this over and over and over and over again. And that's the thing. This is primarily, even with the webcam or the DSLR, the mirrorless, or your phone camera, this is still an audio medium. And so audio is first and foremost. The message, the value, the entertainment, the connection, the conversation is largely happening through the audio realm. If my audio goes off, there's no show. If my video go off, we just do this radio style, and everybody can still listen to the conversation, and they can enjoy looking at Marco while you see a little avatar of me up on the screen. So that's the difference. That's where you want to make sure that if you're making any investment in gear in the beginning, I always say make it in audio first. Get your audio right. The video will take care of itself.
Absolutely. And talking about audio and talking about gear, you have in front of you one of my favorite toys on the field. It's my kind of, in my bucket list, it's that microphone. Do you have something, because that specific microphone has something in the history of the music, special appearance?
Yeah. So this microphone is the Shure SM7B. Before they added the B to it, there was the microphone was called the Shure SM7, and some people still call it that. And this is what Michael Jackson used to record Thriller, which is probably, I don't know if it's still the best-selling album worldwide of all time, but it's certainly one of the best. I believe Bob Dylan's used it. A lot of different artists have used it, even though most artists use condenser mics when they're recording in studio. A lot of artists just love the smooth, natural sound that they get with the SM7B. So it has its role in music, and of course it's an industry standard in broadcasting and radio and podcasting and satellite radio. It's just become really popular, and it looks good on camera, which is
absolutely.
It's not all mics look as this good on camera. So that's, if you're going to have a mic on your screen, that's a factor too. But there's lots of good options out there from microphones. And I mentioned the Samson Q2U, which I have right here. And this is what I started with. It's a nice looking microphone. It's light. You can use it handheld, or you can use it on a very inexpensive boom arm. And it's a great way to get started. You don't invest in a lot of money in things like microphones in the beginning, because you're setting yourself up for going, oh my God, I just spent $400 on this in my first broadcast, and I'm not there yet, right? You got all your pro gear. Your first broadcast won't sound pro. Use what you can afford. Use what you have, or get inexpensive tools that are good. Because again, the difference from the Samson Q2U to this is much smaller than the difference between using my webcam microphone or my laptop microphone and using the Samson, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. And Sonia, she's saying, if you look at the camera, we can see other speaker. Yeah, sometimes there's a struggle between looking at the camera and looking at the guest.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. But the thing is, I don't know about you, Ross, and I think at the beginning we came to this live stream world because we need a medium to start sharing our ideas, to build our authority, to build our personal brand and everything. But at some point we need to understand, okay, how I can get money from this. And I think, because this happened to me, and I believe that it also happened to you, people approaching to you and asking, how do you make money with that?
Right. And so there are so many ways that people can make money. And in fact, people who are making money are usually doing it in more than one way. So one way you can make money is through your actual broadcast, the actual content itself, your talent, your hosting skills, your audience is paying for it, or sponsors are paying for it. So that could be getting sponsors for a show. It could be having a Patreon or a YouTube subscription, like a YouTube membership, or doing some gated broadcasts, and people paying for your actual content. The much bigger way is through selling products and services related to your content. That's how more people are doing it. Or as an introduction to, if you're a professional, it can be an introduction to what you do. You talk about your business. You talk about, maybe you don't even talk about it that much, but you mention where, what you do, where you work. And people develop a relationship with you over time. And then when they need that product or service, they know you're the person to go to because they already have a relationship with you and they've seen the value you provide. Other ways people monetize, you could monetize by, as I believe you do production for other people. You can do graphics for live streams. You can help a business integrate live streaming into their marketing if they haven't done so. So you can monetize the show, the talent. You can monetize your knowledge of the industry from going live. You can monetize products and services, or you build your brand and you build your thought leadership, so to speak, and your reputation and your relationships with people over time and through that rapport that you have with your audience. And then you become the go-to person when they need something that you can provide in a business context. So there's so many different ways that people are monetizing live streaming. Amazon Live is a wonderful. I see Chris Stone just dropped into the chat.
Yes.
He's been a pioneer on Amazon Live, and so there's an opportunity. You can sell affiliate products right on Amazon, or you can do it in your description in YouTube. So that's one of the ways. At the conference coming up, we're going to talk about. It's a virtual conference. We're going to talk about email marketing as a way to monetize live streaming. We're going to talk about self-publishing, writing a book, either taking your content from live streams and turning it into a book, or using your live streams after you've written the book to promote and create interest and sell copies of the book. Or both. And, so those are just a couple of the topics we're going to talk about. We're going to talk to somebody who has a consulting business. We're going to talk to a coach who built her business through live streaming, business professionals, entrepreneurs, people, all different ways that they've used live streaming. Phil Kluba is going to join us. He's got a production company, started a remote live streaming production company up in Toronto, where he works with a lot of entertainers up in that area. So there's a lot of opportunity out there if you can pinpoint it and then learn how the people who are doing it are promoting it. And I believe Marco has dropped his link in the chat. So if you want to attend, just click on that summit. Go ahead, give the link, and people can use your link and sign up. It's free to attend. And there's also a VIP ticket, but just sign up for the free right now and get it while it's available. There it is on the screen.
And I have to get back a little bit because something that happened here in the chat,
Right.
and I think it's good to talk about, because I don't know if in the digital world there's any other option as effective as live streaming to build a network. Because, for instance, I see so many people which are located in America. Yesterday I was making my accountability on my live stream shows, and I found that I have people from 30 different countries in my shows. Okay,
it's amazing.
What do you have to tell? Because this is something that sooner or later you can use to get business, to do business, is this network you're building through live streaming. Your thoughts on this, Ross?
I think it's easier to do through live streaming than it is through static social media posts or image posts or even uploaded videos on social media, because doing live streams somewhat regularly, whether it's a show or whether you go live, you pop up and go live, but you start to develop a following and an audience and connect with people. Those are real relationships. I mean, this is, after we do this show, you and I have never talked one-on-one like this. After we do this show, it'll totally change the way that we relate to each other, how we know each other, and it's really powerful. And you can think about not only having people on because of the value that they provide, but also to build that relationship with people in your industry, with customers, with people who become friends. Maybe they become a co-host or a collaborator, or you end up getting a job through them. I mean, there's so many different ways that you can build your network through live streaming. I think what's so powerful is that, Twitter chats were really big when I started live streaming. I mean, all day people were in Twitter chats. There was one after the next, right? And they were probably the best way to connect with people because it was a real-time conversation versus I post and then I wait for your reply and then I come in and I reply. But once you could get on camera and on microphone and actually talk, now you're getting really close to what we do when we're in person. It's almost like we're sitting across the table from each other having a conversation. And it just accelerates the process of getting to know people and feeling comfortable with them. Through a tweet, through a Twitter chat, I can't necessarily decide, yes, Marco's somebody I could trust to work with. But after I spend, a half an hour or an hour on a live stream with you, I watch how you react in live, how you react to customers, how you react to questions, how you react to your audience, how you handle when things go wrong, how you handle when things go well, how you produce all these things it's a massive amount of data into who you are as a professional, how you handle yourself, what kind of person you are, and whether I would enjoy working with you or not. And that doesn't have to mean that, there's anything wrong with somebody, but we all have people that we gravitate to and we say this person's style would be a good fit for me, and somebody else's style who may be every bit as capable and as good a person might not be a great fit for you. And the ability to cut to the chase, so to speak, rather than say going through a lot of people and then finding, oh, well, this wasn't really a good fit. I know so much now. If I was going to work with somebody in live streaming, now I know Marco's approach. I know his graphics. I know how he asks questions. I know how much he enjoys going live. I know how he onboarded me onto the show. I know all these different things about how he hosts a show and produces a show, but more than anything, how he relates to his audience in the chat, the questions he asks, and how he handles himself. And it's a tremendous amount of insight into people. And when we talk about monetizing, let me just mention this. It doesn't have to be, although I think there's tremendous value in learning how to sell on live streaming, because this is where e-commerce and this is where almost any business is going, right? There's going to be more and more integration of ability to be watching a live stream, tap the screen, and buy something. I think Amazon Live is the closest right now for most people, because you could be watching this and if you're watching it on live, Marco probably has a product or two or more in his carousel.
Yes,
I'm not on, right? And so you can click those items and purchase right from the screen. But it doesn't have to be about that. I mean, you look at what Chris does, you look at what Marco does. They're providing value, they're providing entertainment, they're providing interviews as well. And all that is a benefit to their business in and above any sales that they make during a live stream. So monetizing, if I go live, I think here's what I want to get the point. The point is, we're so pushed to look at these vanity metrics, right? How many viewers did I get? How much watch time did I have? Did people subscribe? Did they share? When you start evaluating your live streams through business metrics rather than live streaming and social media metrics, that's when you realize that you're monetizing. Did I make an affiliate sale during the live stream? Did I get it? I went live once and had only 10 people watching and got 2 clients from the broadcast. Now, to me, that's a more successful broadcast than going live and having 10,000 people and not one person even expressed interest in working with me. And when we start to think about it that way, we start to open our eyes to who's our audience and what service do we have that people need. And the people who may be interested in spending money and needing that service may not be the same people who will come for a different type of live stream. So, there's total value in doing live streams to a large audience and your branding and your credibility within your industry. But ultimately, if you're trying to make money, if you start looking at not the live streaming metrics, but the business metrics and what is actually converting for you, you may find that a small audience on a very niche topic may do better than a wide audience on a very general topic. Or you might find it's the exact opposite, because it also deals with who you are, your personality, and what you provide and what people sense they can learn from you or what they enjoy gaining from you. There's so many factors. People who come on and they say there's only one way to do this, they're not telling the truth, because there's one way that a lot of us may do it, but there's many different ways people have had success with live streaming.
Absolutely. So let's jump a little bit to the comment section.
Sure.
And Chris is okay. Welcome, Chris. Welcome, Philip. Welcome, Photoshop tutor and photo editor. Okay, people are here networking in the chat. Chris is saying, I'm excited to join this event. Some amazing knowledge to gain. Tony, he's talking about the 30. Yes. An event that has Ross brand involved is worth the time and money, but this one is free. And okay, Sonia made here some question. I'm gonna leave it to the end. Wow, free but worth it? Yes, absolutely. Means okay. Sonia saying, I'm happy Ross opened my 100 days live with Sonia and becomes my main sponsor with Livestream Universe. I really enjoying this interview, guys. Thank you so much, Phil. And let me get this question from Sonia. With offline in-person events start happening again in many places, will live streaming and podcast be as busy as during pandemic last year? Nice question.
Wow, that's a tough question to as I look into the future. I'm the one who asks everybody for predictions every year. Now I have to do one of my own on the spot. I mean, I think things are never going back to as on-site, in-person, brick and mortar as they were before. Think about how many businesses have had to close down. Think of how many events may never restart again. So even as things restart, I think people have seen the power of having a remote team and working virtually, where a business doesn't have to pay for overhead. They don't have to pay for their workers on site. They work from home. They have every ability to track what they're doing in just as if they were sitting in an office in front of them, and they find that workers are more productive. A lot of people are falling in love with the virtual summit and the virtual event because they don't have to spend money on travel. They don't have to take time off from work. They can use that time for a vacation or something else. They don't have to spend expensive, hotels and meals and all that. And they can, shut out of the event and take a business call and do things that they couldn't do in person a lot of the time. So that doesn't mean we don't want to get together in person. And there's something about meeting people face to face in person that's still can't be replaced in the in-person experience. But I think to the extent that some podcasts or live streams may stop, so will some start, because people will be recording podcasts. If you and I were to meet up in Portugal, I guarantee at some point we're going to go live, or we're going to record a podcast, or we're going to do something like that. Yeah. So at all these events, think about how many people go live to talk about what they're doing, or to show off a talk that they're given, or, show around their vendor booth and so forth. So, and then people get together and they record podcasts and they do live streams and they do video recordings for their YouTube channel. So I don't think the content's going to slow down at all. It'll just be a little bit more varied as we go back to in person.
Makes sense, yes. And the other thing I think is it will be the filter, because once people come, they will go again to offline events, and they will become to the prior normal.
Right. I think the new normal, the old normal.
Yes, yes. Because That was something someone asked me. I think it was more than 1 year when COVID thing exploded here, and someone asked me, "Look, Marco," and this could be also a question for you. With so many people, and I was doing someone was interviewing me about live streaming, and someone asked me, don't you think with all these people going live, the quality of the content will decrease? So that's the question for you now.
I mean, anytime you have more people in something, there's a chance that the average won't be quite as good as when you only have the experts and the professionals and so forth. But I don't think that matters, right? We have the ability to click on to what we like and click off from what we don't like. And so, if anything, with everybody going live or everybody using live video as a communication medium, right? Because if you're having a Zoom conference, you're using live video, but you're not necessarily doing a live stream to social media, but you're still using the tools, right? So what I see is the level in many ways has come up, because if everybody now has a webcam, if I want to stay a step ahead, I need a mirrorless or a DSLR. If everybody has doing multicam, I need to think about how I can get a second camera in. And all these, like if everybody has a USB microphone instead of using their built-in microphone, then I think, wow, what if I added an audio interface or a mixer? What could I do that? So I think, and graphics and branding and all these things have stepped up by all these people coming in. You see people, now everybody can do a Zoom virtual background. Nobody knew how to do that, or if it was available, I didn't know it was available pre-pandemic. I never thought about it, right? So now if you want to stand out, a green, and you want to either use a green screen or you want to have a natural background that is suitable for your broadcast. So there's all these different ways. I know that I've stepped up and I felt ready. I always believe lead with your content, right? And let your gear and your settings and all that, let all that catch up to your content. Don't make your content have to catch up to your studio, so to speak, right? Because that's putting a lot of pressure on. You'll know when you're ready. But I think if anything, people who are doing it well stepped up their game. They professionalized even more because they felt the value and the interest, and they saw so many people coming into the space, and it's like, wow, this is kind of a competitive advantage that I've been doing this for 5 years. When a lot of people in Zoom meetings, they're just going live with their built-in webcam. They're not, they're sitting like this. They've got noise in the background, And so if anything, it's made it clear to people how to stand out as more of a professional, really, on live video.
Absolutely. And this is important, and as you mentioned, and for me this is the key above it all, is with so many competition there, in the long term, the quality of the content, for me, it's of course it's my perspective, but it will increase, because there you need to struggle, you need to be there fighting, and you need to improve, and that's it, because otherwise you will die.
Right. And if you already have an audience or you're building one, that relationship is the most important thing. It doesn't matter whether everybody in the world's live streaming or nobody else is live streaming. Your opportunities come with those relationships and those connections, and what you gain and learn from them, what they gain and learn from you, business opportunities and so forth. That comes from your community, your audience, and the people you reach out to and bring on your show. That really isn't that impacted by what everybody else is doing if you focus on your audience and your style and what you do well. There's a zillion radio stations out there, but people still listen to. There's more TV channels than there's ever been, and cable channels and everything else. And maybe the overall numbers, right, they're not what they were when there were 3 main
Absolutely,
channels in the US, but people are still watching, people are still getting paid to do shows, people are still advertising on shows. There's plenty of opportunity out there. If you're taking a scarcity and competition mindset versus other people, you really aren't looking at the big picture. See what the average in the aggregate is doing and say, where do I stand above the crowd in that area, through my knowledge, through my ability to entertain, to make people laugh, to provide certain product or service or information or whatever it is that I bring that I do uniquely well. Focus on that. That's where you win. That's where you are able to succeed, and nobody else has to lose because you win.
Absolutely, absolutely. And Chris Tony saying preach. And Tony, he's saying that they are laying in the bed on call. Yes. I had a situation. I was doing a training via Zoom, and some of my students were on the bed listening to me. Yes. They were afraid that I was so bored that could fell asleep. So I'm already prepared.
You got the sound effects ready.
So Tony, he said, Marco helped me tremendously. Thank you so much. Well, it was a pleasure, of course, having you, and hope soon I will have you again, Tony. And Sonia, still, Marco, I want to make World Summit for live streamers in Bali. It's like I haven't been to Spain, but I met a handsome Spanish in Singapore. So offline event is also important, not only see on camera. Absolutely. And talking about Spanish, I live very close to Spain. Before this thing, I went to lots of congress in Spain, and Spain people are also warm people like Portuguese. We like to gather and to meet face to face and to drink some beers, and because Spanish have that tapas, which is a very good thing, snacks to eat while you're talking. Right. And I miss that so much. And we are talking all the time. We hope that we can get back to events, offline events together. Absolutely. Because it's another dimension. Yes, it is. But for instance, another way, if it was not live streaming, I'm pretty sure that I never met you, Sonia, Chris, Ross, and everybody. So I think we should not put, because I think it's one of the mistakes. We put every time one thing against the other one. And why not to complement, put them together?
Right, absolutely. My entire network is different pre-live streaming, post-live streaming. Almost everybody that I deal with on a regular basis, I met and connected to through live streaming right now. I mean, it's amazing. All the relationships starting with Blab and going up through today.
Absolutely. And let's talk a little bit about these gents in the because I think one of the main challenges in organizing an event is, okay, you should bring diversity to the event, okay? But also, I think it's kind of important when you are trying, you're setting an event as big as this one is, to identify yourself with the speakers, because I think, and that's one of the important things when I bring guests to my shows. If there's something about the personality of the person, of the way he deals with things, and doesn't match with me, maybe even though I may recognize he or she is a good professional, it's not a good match to my show. Did you have this in mind as well, Ross?
Oh, absolutely, 100%. Almost everybody in this picture who's a speaker or a sponsor has been chosen because of my relationship with them. A couple of people may have come highly recommended from people I'm very close with, but in general, this is for the first one. It just was really important that I had people that I knew had a track record of monetizing live streaming so that they would be on topic and could share value. Most of them have been guests on my shows. Some of them many times have contributed to my annual predictions blog post. And also, in wanting to be consistent with the message, we're doing the event live, and I'm also paying the speakers. So I wanted people who I knew were going to deliver value to the audience and to the event. And I can't be more excited about this lineup. I mean, these are people I would sign up to hear talk anywhere. I mean, they're really tremendous. And each one has their own area. I mean, Winnie's son is a financial advisor. She was named one of Forbes top 2021 wealth advisors. She's been a regular guest on CNBC. She's a NASDAQ TV host. John Ferreira's got an amazing story as an entrepreneur and a pioneer in the CRM, customer relationship management area. And he's just got a tremendous story. Dale Roberts is an expert in self-publishing. Louise McDonald did a live stream where she raised $35,000 in one live stream, crowdfunding, fundraising, another way to monetize. Jenny Q on the right of me there, she was the first person that I ever had on a show, and she's one of the real great live streaming hosts. It's just a wonderful. Mitch Jackson's one of the first attorneys who got into live streaming. Now, he's somebody who doesn't really do a lot of selling on live streaming, but he's a tremendous communicator, and so he gets business just from showing up and providing value and being a thought leader and community leader. Michael Kinney, next to him, was an actor on the longest-running show in Canada TV, and he does amazing how-to videos. He's just an all-around 30-year broadcast talent who can teach you how to inexpensively do things with video that you didn't even know you could do with free tools. Coach Jenny, next to Michael, she created a coaching business. She had one already, but it totally transformed her business, helped her write a book, all through building community through live streaming. Kim Doyle, next to her, has been an incredible entrepreneur through several different projects online. Now she's really specializing in email marketing and building your list. So I know I probably missed a couple of people, but it's just an amazing, amazing group. And I'm so honored that they're all speaking and that they're going to be part of this first event. And you'll definitely have the opportunity to look over the schedule and say, hey, self-publishing, that's an area where I could monetize this. Let me go hear Dale, or, I want to learn to produce videos for other people. Let me see how Phil Kluba, he's above Kim and below Louise on the 1, 2, 3, 4th from the left in the middle. He's somebody you could learn a tremendous amount about what it takes to be a virtual event producer or a virtual live streaming producer and work with talent remotely. Tremendous. And Jan, who's on the bottom right, he's based in Germany, and he actually is an expert in running virtual summits. He wrote a book on it and has a whole program on it. So if you think there's an opportunity to monetize virtual summits, his session is one definitely not to miss.
Absolutely. Do you have, for instance, there will be the recordings to people to watch after the event, or...
We do have a paid VIP ticket, and that will include 2 strategy sessions, which will be smaller groups where we really help you push through any pain points that you're having on the path to monetizing and implement what you learned in the main day's event. So there'll be 2 of those on the Sunday, and then all the VIP ticket holders will get access to all the recordings as well from all the speakers. So that's $97. I think it's a really good value, and people can either go right ahead and buy that ticket, or they can upgrade if they've already signed up. It's pretty much the same process. You just go back to the landing page, the registration page, and get that ticket. And if you're already signed up in Hopin, it connects right to your account, so they know you've upgraded. And of course, use Marco's link that's in the description or in the chat, and sign up. Let us know you came through Marco, who's just doing an awesome job promoting and being supportive, which we really appreciate.
Are you thinking about, because any other parallels, for instance, network moments?
So we're doing the event in Hopin, and Hopin has it's a virtual event platform. So we're actually going to have an expo where there'll be booths, and you can go into booths from different tools that people can use to monetize. And also there'll be a photo booth, and I'm putting together a booth that just have music, and you can go in and chill out for a little while when you take a break. And then there's also several different kinds of there's at least a few different kinds of ways you can network. One is you can click on a networking tab, and Hopin will match you through their AI one-on-one with another member, and you have a video chat. So that's a way to randomly, or not exactly randomly, because there's a science behind how Hopin does it, but get paired up with somebody who might be a good contact, somebody you might enjoy meeting. But you can also, in the chat, which to the right of your of the main screen where you're watching the presentations, to the right, you can click on somebody's profile and actually set up a meeting with them during the event, and you go into a one-on-one video chat. You may be able to bring other people in. I have to look into exactly how that works, but there are a ton of opportunities for engagement. Everybody who attends gets to, put out a profile. You can put your photo on there. You can put links to your website, your Twitter, your LinkedIn, and it's great for networking. There'll be Q&A opportunities during the live stream. So there's a lot of the elements of an in-person event we're trying to bring into this virtual space.
This question is important. There will be some giveaways.
There could be, but there could be.
Because it's something important for some people.
I have on the schedule like final thoughts or wrap up at like the last 10 minutes of Saturday. Hopefully that will be a time where we announce some winners, or we, finalize some giveaways, or if we do them during the event at different times, we'll come back and we'll recap who won during that time in case you missed it. So, I'm hoping we will do that, but that is to be announced at this time. And we should we'll also probably have some special offers from sponsors and from partners and so forth that will only be available to people who attend the event. Perfect.
We have this question from Sonia. How much is the speaker paid? It's a great way to have a paid speaker event.
Right now, that's we're not gonna announce that. If one of the speakers wants to say, that's up to them. It's not a huge amount, but it's more than most virtual events are paying, which most virtual events are not paying at all. So we have to start somewhere. I think it's not a bad amount to start with, and it's basically a 20-minute talk for each of the speakers plus 5 minutes of Q&A. If they end up going longer in the talk, and a little less Q&A, or ending short and wanting to do more Q&A, there's that flexibility. But basically, they're on stage for 25 minutes. And there literally is a virtual stage area.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Ross, after this, anything in the roadmap?
Well, we have a Facebook group that I created, I guess, about 2 or 3 weeks ago. And so that's a place both before the event to participate in conversation and to keep in touch with people who attended and to continue the conversation and find out about what other what other events or projects are coming up related to this topic, it's facebook.com/groups/monetize live, facebook.com/groups/monetize live. It's a great way to get involved and learn more about the event, but also continue having these discussions on a regular basis. And I try and highlight group members as well. They may not be speaking at this event, but they may be speaking at future events, or they're just doing something that's really cool that's helping them monetize live video or video marketing or e-commerce, and we're highlighting that. So definitely jump in the group and share your thoughts and what you're doing with live streaming and with business.
Perfect. Well, we are almost reaching the end. Give us 3 reasons why we should attend to this event.
One, it's going to be a great time. This is going to be different than most virtual events because of all the different things that we've set up to make it feel more like an in-person event, with the networking and the expo area and photo booth and vendor booths and the AI networking, the ability to set one-on-one appointments with people, and a full lineup of great speakers. But number 2 and number 3 are the value that you're getting from these speakers in terms of how they are actually monetizing. These people have a proven track record. They're really, really doing it. So these are people you can learn from. And then the third reason is it'll help you pinpoint where the opportunities are, but even more importantly, because there's a ton of them, even if people don't recognize it, which opportunities are probably a good fit for you. And that's, you don't want to waste your time trying everything. You want to focus on 1 or 2 or 3 areas. If you have one, that's amazing, right? If you have one area where you can go all in, but you want to narrow it down so that you're pinpointing those ideas that are the best fit for your skills, your community, and your area of expertise. And when you do that, you're going to come away really on your way to getting to monetizing or increasing your revenue through the tools and the techniques that are being taught at this event.
Perfect. Well, I put it in the chat, the link to join the Facebook group. Feel free to join. So, Ross, thank you so much. Besides the event, and the Facebook group, where people can find you?
I'm on Twitter. DM me on Twitter. Say hello. It's at the letter I, and then Ross Brand. So it's just put the letter I before my name, and before that, put the @ symbol. You can find me on Twitter. Connect to me there. I'm also on LinkedIn, Ross Brand. Put Ross Brand in live streaming. I don't think anybody else is going to come up. You should be able to find me on LinkedIn as well. So happy to connect on any of the social platforms that I'm on, but those are 2 great ones to connect on.
Perfect. Well, Ross, thank you so much for your time and
Marco,
talking about this amazing event. Yes?
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you for the way you go about doing live streams. It really, really is impressive. I love what you're doing, and I appreciate all the support that you've given me for this event and promoting it and having me on during this time. So thank you, and keep
You're
up
welcome.
the great
My
work.
pleasure. Thank you so much. So, for those of you who are watching, thank you so much. And Alberto just joined us a few minutes ago. Hello, Alberto, ¿qué tal? Thank you so much for tuning in. Tomorrow, I will be back to Amazon Live with the amazing show with Ryan Swanstrom. So join us. And don't forget to attend the event of Ross. You can find the link in the description. You can find also in the chat, so you can join and learn from so many different people with so many different backgrounds. And this, believe me, will be a nice way to start to understand how you can monetize live streaming, how live streaming can help your business, because this is a huge giant, which is just awaken. Okay,
Yes.
it's just the awakening.
It's a great way to put it.
Yeah, absolutely. So tune in, and we will be back again. Bye bye. Have a nice day. Bye bye.